His father is an NBA legend who won 5 rings and played alongside other legends like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. His mother is a former college hooper turned coach. He outperformed Cooper Flagg to win MVP at McDonald's All-American game, and he's already drawing comparisons with Jalen Brunson. His name is Dylan Harper, a gifted point guard who somehow seems to be flying under the radar ahead of the 2025 NBA draft. But why isn't he getting the same amount of hype as other exceptional talents in the pool? And how good is he actually? Born on the 2nd of March, 2006, Dylan Harper grew up in a family with a strong basketball heritage. His father, Ron Harper, played 15 seasons in the NBA. He won 5 championships and shared locker rooms with NBA legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Ironically, his mother, Maria Harper, was also a hooper back in the day. She played in D1 for New Orleans and eventually became a youth coach. Continuing this tradition, Dylan's older brother, Ron Harper Jr., played in the D1 for Rutgers and even made it into the NBA, playing for the Raptors before joining the Boston Celtics. So yeah, Dylan Harper had a lot of basketball heads around him as a kid, and he obviously picked up a few things from them. He was introduced to the game at 6, and by the time he got to high school, his skills were way better than most kids his age. As a junior at Don Bosco, he averaged 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals per game. This incredible form continued into his senior year, where he was one of the leading scorers, leading the team to a 26-3 season. Along the way, he posted a career-high 38 points against Bergen Catholic and dropped 36 points on DJ Wagner. By the end of the season, he was putting up 22 points per game. His incredible performance earned him some serious hardware. MVP of the Jordan Brand Classic, McDonald's National High School Player of the Year, and Gatorade High School Player of the Year in New Jersey. Expectedly, he was a consensus 5-star recruit with scholarship offers pouring in from powerhouse programs like Duke, Indiana, Michigan, Kansas, and even UCLA. In the end, he committed to Rutgers University, following the footsteps of his older brother and becoming the highest-rated recruit in the program's history. Since then, his game has improved even more. He was named MVP at the 2024 McDonald's All-American game after scoring 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And at the time of making this video, there are already conversations about him being a potential top lottery pick when the 2025 NBA draft comes around. Now, that's a big statement, especially considering the amount of talent in the pool. And really, it makes you wonder, how good is this kid actually? Well, the player himself says he has a unique game that most people don't have and most people don't ever see. On the surface, you might think to yourself, yeah, this kid is just hyping himself up. He's nothing special. However, when you take a closer look at his game, you'll realize he's not exaggerating. Standing at 6'6", Dylan is an immensely talented jumbo guard with the ability to thrive on both sides of the court. Usually we tend to say this about young talents with two-way qualities, but trust me, this kid is different. He has a natural feel for the ball and a composure that most players of his class can only dream of. He has good pacing and provides constant rim pressure in diverse ways. This makes it extremely difficult for defenders to guard him because every time he's on the ball, they literally can't predict what he'll do next. By using his smooth handling and shiftiness to create spaces, Dylan is able to generate buckets for himself, and when needed, his build allows him to absorb contact while driving to the rim. But that's not all. This kid is very deceptive in transition. Sometimes you'll see him pull up mid-drive to take mid-range shots. In addition, Dylan is an outstanding rebounder. He's shown this everywhere he's played, especially in the Nike Elite Youth Basketball League, where he averaged 7.1 rebounds per game. This obviously is a strong part of his game, and I expect him to continue crashing those boards when he makes the big step up into the NBA. But make no mistakes, there is more to Dylan Harper's game than just scoring mid-range shots and grabbing rebounds. The left-handed guard has good court vision and an incredibly high level of basketball IQ, which allows him to thrive as a creator. He can read plays even under pressure and find open teammates anywhere on the floor. and he makes it look so easy you sometimes wonder if he's actually only a college player. I mean, I'm not saying he's a finished product, but at times, his game seems very mature both on offense and defense. Unlike some young talents who think that hooping is all about fancy step-backs and no-look passes, Harper doesn't shy away from doing the dirty work. He's a brilliant on and off the ball defender with the ability to guard multiple positions, even if that means putting his body on the line. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about this kid is how much he loves to compete. He hustles for every ball like his life depends on it, and he has such a strong competitive aura that rubs off on the entire team. His teammates know that every time Dylan gets on the court, he's giving 110%, and they can't afford to slack off themselves. Ultimately, this highlights Dylan's role as a leader, but more importantly, it helps build a winning mentality within the team. Also, it explains why he's touted as a potential lottery pick in the 2025 NBA draft. Speaking about the NBA, Dylan would definitely face tougher opposition when he gets into the league. But again, that's why his versatility is so important. There's so much he can do with and without the ball that opponents literally have to pick their poison because regardless of how they set up, Dylan is going to do what he wants to do anyway. And just in case anyone has doubts, his game is perfectly suited for the NBA. I know this because he has so much in common with Jalen Brunson, an all-star point guard who's currently doing well in the league. For starters, both players have dads who once played in the NBA. They're both left-handed, and their offensive game is their strength. Like Dylan Harper, Brunson doesn't have elite athleticism, but he makes up for it with his sleek footwork, impressive court vision, smooth ball handling, and exceptional basketball IQ. Over the last few seasons, we've watched Brunson develop into one of the most lethal offensive players in the league, and I honestly think Dylan has the potential to do the same. Now, I'm not saying Dylan will replicate Brunson's career, but if he taps into his full potential, I can see him turning out to be a really solid NBA player. In fact, Dylan appears to have a head start already. He has a better rating as an NBA prospect than Brunson did during his college years, and if he continues on this trajectory, he could become one of the biggest talents of his generation. For now though, it doesn't seem like he's gonna go number 1 overall in the 2025 NBA draft because Cooper Flagg seems to have locked that down already. However, this might just be a blessing in disguise for Dylan because without the intense pressure and distractions that comes with being the first overall pick, he can quietly blossom into an elite offensive threat like Brunson. Speaking of which, last season there was something different about Jalen Brunson. Check out this video to see what that was.